Magnus Carlsen blunders in this match against Gawain Jones, but he makes a nice little comeback after going down by a piece, winning this match actually by going down by still after going down by a piece. So Magnus is playing with the white pieces here, and Gawain Jones is playing with the black pieces here. This is the Sicilian defense variation on the board. This is the modern variation of the Sicilian defense, the main line that is being played, and knight to f6 is played here, and Magnus plays knight to c3, and g6 is played with the intent of fianchetting this bishop and castling on the king side. Magnus brings his bishop to e3 here, and bishop to g7, fianchetting this bishop by black, and Magnus pushes his pawn to f3 here, and knight comes to c6, and queen to d2, targeting this nice little defender bishop of the black king with this battery here. This also signifies that he could be looking to castle on the queen side as well. So the both players castles now. Jones castles on the king side, and Magnus castles on the queen side, indicating that this could be a very attacking game with pawn stops on both sides of the board. So d5 is played, attacking the pawns structure in the center, and queen drop backs to e1, and e5 is made. So both the pawns are pushed in the center, starting the attack by Gawain Jones. So knight captures this knight, and pawn captures back, and after the pawn exchange, knight captures back, leaving this pawn isolated here on the board. So bishop comes to c4 here, attacking this knight, and bishop to e6 is played, and king to b1 is played. So rook to e8 is played here. Actually, it's possible to capture this knight with your knight here, and you cannot. Once the queen captures back here, this bishop will be defended here, but it also creates a threat on this black queen over here, so that line was not preferred by Jones. And a knight to e4 by Magnus, and f5 is played, attacking the knight, and knight jumps to g5, attacking this bishop. So bishop goes to c8 here, and this knight now here is pinned here, and because of the king and the bishop being on the same light square diagonal over here. So g4 is played by Magnus, which basically is a blunder basically. So this basically causes because instead of going for the capture, you can just push this pawn here, and after that this piece here is hanging. So Magnus chooses to protect this knight with his pawn push to h4, and after that this bishop is gone because this pawn can capture. The queen captures back because this knight here is pinned, and because of that you cannot capture the queen with your knight here. So pawn push to h6 is played here, and queen immediately goes to c5, and bishop comes to b7 is played here, protecting this pawn over here. Knight to e4 uses this opportunity to bring the knight away from the threat, and rook to e6 is played here. So if the knight was captured, it would open up the h file, and this rook would double up, and with this queen and the bishop over here, there is a lot of checkmate threats on the board. So that might be the reason that knight was not captured. So h5 is played, attacking the pawn structure, and queen to b6 is played here. The better move would be to push this pawn over here, and Magnus continues pushing his pawn to g5, and after the pawn captures, queen goes away to a3, not allowing this queen exchange to happen. So rook comes to b8 now, creating this nice little battery, attacking this b2 pawn, and pawn push to b3 basically eliminate that attack for the time being, and queen goes to d8 by Jones, and this allows the pawn capture by the queen with here. So pawn is captured back basically, which actually is a mistake because the rook captures back, and actually as of this position Magnus is slightly better even after going down by a piece here. So rook to g6 is played, and Magnus captures this pawn with his rook, and once the rook captures, then knight capture back here. So you cannot capture with the queen here, because if you do, your rook will be gone. So queen to c8 is played. A better move would be to bring the queen over here to d6, still protecting this rook. So rook to g1 by Magnus, and rook to a8 is played, attacking the queen, and the queen comes to b6, and rook comes to a6 here, attacking the queen. You could go for the capture here, but this bishop is too powerful over here. Exchanging it off for even for the rook will not be a good idea to be in the game. So Magnus do not go for that, and he brings his queen to c5. A better move would be to bring the queen over here because this knight is captured, it would have been better to bring it here. So q into d7 is played, and knight to e4 is played, trying to bring the knight here with the check. This bishop here is pinned, this knight is also pinned, and these two pins allow this capture of this queen with the check, with the fork check basically here. So king gets away to h8. A better move would be to bring the king here to f7, but that was not played, and q into f2 is played. It would have been better to bring the rook up the board over here, and q into e7 is played. So bishop captures the rook now, because the use of this bishop with the pin is gone now. So Magnus uses the opportunity to capture that rook, and bishop captures back. So queen goes to h2 with a check, and king goes to g8, and q into h6 is played. And because this bishop is pinned, you still cannot capture it. So q into a7 is now played, which actually is a mistake, and Magnus is much better in the game now. A better move would be to bring the king over here. This allows Magnus to bring the queen over here to e6 with a check, and after that the king goes here to f8, and rook comes to g5, trying to bring the rook here with the check, and it will be made soon after that. So knight jumps to e3 here, protecting this square, and queen goes to d6 with a check, and after king to s7, knight to c5 is played, and bishop to c8 is played, and Magnus does this basically. Rook captures this g7 bishop basically, and if you do not capture, it will be a checkmate, and if you capture, this pawn will be captured with a check, and after that basically this knight will be gone as well. So Magnus still have 3 pawns against 1 pawn in this game, and basically this is altogether winning for Magnus. And this pawn here could go down the board with the protection of the king and this knight, and basically it will be a game over pretty much for Jones, and he resigned as of this position, and Magnus won the match. So he won the match even after going down the by a major piece, and he deserves a major clap. And thanks for watching for this much, and this clap is for you as well. So thank you very much. We'll be back with more such videos.